Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to East Coast Classics, and thanks so much for joining me. And behind me is a lot like the house I grew up in. Well, not really. Frankly, this is vacation time, and we're at this family resort. It's more like summer camp for families. I'm up in the Pocono Mountains in middle of Pennsylvania or so, and this resort is all about spending time with family, reconnecting with nature, with canoeing and hiking and power boating, and any outdoor activity that you can imagine is here. It looks like the scene from the movie Dirty Dancing, or maybe by the end of this it might be The Shining, I don't know yet. But so far we've been having a blast, and this trip is a reminder to me about reconnecting with family. This video also gives me an opportunity to give you guys an update about what's going on with East Coast Classics. And there's some changes going on, and they're happening. And this is the first step in that process. And the journey up here, it was about a 2.5-hour drive, is part of that story. You see, my good buddy Ethan over at Hello Road has a YouTube channel, and he was recently doing a giveaway of a car. He announced that on his channel, and he asked for video submissions, and I was one of the fortunate people to be able to submit a video, and I got chosen. I got chosen by his viewers as the next owner of a BMW 740. Now, it's not so much about the car that excites me so much. It's more about the journey and the trip. You see, Ethan lives in Los Angeles. I'm in Wilmington, Delaware, and I'm going to fly out to LA. I'm going to pick up that car, and I'm going to road trip it back home. But part of the road trip includes all the stops, all the visits, all the places I wanted to see ever since I was, I don't know, in high school, even younger. So my plan is right now to take Route 66 from LA all the way to Dallas. And from Dallas, just hightail it back home. But I wanted to share the journey with you guys for this trip. And I've got some great stops, things that I've always dreamed of going to. And I can't wait to video and document my trip. And I plan to upload a video every day of this journey. And it should take, 6, 7, 8 days. I'm not sure yet. But it's going to be fun. And it's going to be a blast. And I want you guys to enjoy it with me. And I want to share this with you. So if you haven't already, jump over to Hello Road. I'll put a link in the description. Check it out. Check out what Ethan's doing. He inspires me in so many different ways. He's one of the great channels out there on YouTube. And I wanted to share it with you guys as well. But I also want you to be able to share in the journey with me from West Coast to East Coast. So that's the first update. But the second update is that I'm blowing up all the cars that I've got here. So I've got 5 cars, and I'm slowly chipping away at getting rid of them and rotating into new cars. And that's part of my experience too. You see, I've had this bucket list of cars that I've always wanted to drive and enjoy and share and document, right, for these memories and memorialize what I've got. And that's the key premise of this channel. And part of that means I'm going to have to get rid of some cars. Now, I've already gotten rid of one, and that one, quite frankly, is the newest car that I bought, the most recent car. And I picked this up at auction a few months ago, and I really had some plans for this car. But a viewer in Germany, Frank, you may recognize Frank's channel, he showed an interest in this car. He wanted to pick it up, and he wanted to continue his story of buying a car here and getting it imported into Germany and enjoying it and sharing it in Germany. So let me first share this video with you that I did for Frank of the car that I bought and that he purchased from me. And check out Frank's channel too when you get a moment, because he's got an interesting perspective of big American V8 cars in Europe and how they're perceived in Europe, and the cost of importing and the cost of licensing and titling and everything else that goes along with it, which is quite interesting and quite different than what I'm used to. So stick around for more updates, more changes from East Coast Classic. Check out Ethan and what he's got going on Hello Road, Frank in Germany, and check out this video I made for him on his new purchase. Thanks so much. This video is for my buddy Frank in Germany. And Frank, this is an introduction to your new 2011 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. I bought this Crown Vic on April 15th, 2019, tax day here in the United States. I went down to the state surplus auction where they had a whole bunch of these cars for sale being auctioned off. I went down there specifically looking for the newest, cleanest, nicest, best condition, lowest mileage Crown Vic I could find at the auction. and this is the one I came up with. This one has 81,000 miles on it. The paint is called North Sea Blue. It's a blue metallic. The interior is charcoal, and this is probably the nicest driving Crown Vic I've ever had as well. Now, I had a bunch of these, and this one is fairly unique in that it's because of the lower mileage, because of the condition that it's in. It has a little bit of sticker shadow right here on the door, and the same thing on the other door as well. Some little scrapes and chips in the paint from, what, 9 years of service. The bumpers are nice, the doors are nice, the paint's not peeling. When the state sells these cars, they take off everything that's police related to the car. Not just the equipment, but also the stickers and the badging that says Police Interceptor there on the rear sail panel. When I first picked up this car at the auction, it had full wheel covers. And I contacted my buddy Alan, who lives in Tampa, Florida, who also has a YouTube channel under the name The Cop Car. He had a whole bunch of these center caps, and he was kind enough to swap the full wheel covers for the center caps. Inside, it's got the cloth interior, the vinyl back seat. I ran over to Walmart and picked up a center console for Frank. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. Here's the power wire for the spotlight. And one other thing that Alan helped me out with, not just the wheel covers, but back here in the trunk, we got a spotlight. All wrapped up, taped down. I'm going to cover that up with the extra carpeting that I have for the trunk. Something interesting about buying cars at the state auction here is that for $20 I can buy a paper license plate, and that gives me 2 months worth of driving time with the car before I have to register it. We have the adjustable pedals. We have a few holes in the dash right here from the police equipment. Air conditioning works, everything works. Now, one of the first things I did when I got this car home was to detail it. And I made a video on that detailing, and the car came out fantastic. The shine, the cleanliness in the paint and the interior. The car is stunning, absolutely stunning, both in its color and the condition. Now, there's a few things for Frank to do when he gets the car. For instance, this had the full wheel covers on, and so now the rims need to be painted. The spotlight needs to be installed. But otherwise, it's ready to get in, drive, and enjoy right away. The transporter just showed up. It only took a few minutes to get it loaded up on the flatbed, and the car is off to the port. Now, where I'm located here in Delaware, I'm pretty equal distance between New York City and Baltimore. But the hassle of going to New York City is insurmountable sometimes. And Baltimore is just easy. It's right down I-95. I'm close to I-95, 72 miles or so. And that's where the car is going, to the Port of Baltimore, where they also provide drive-on, drive-off service for vehicles going to Europe. Now, it's exactly what it sounds like. You drive the car onto the ship, they latch it down, and off they go. So the car is first going to a transporter simply because Homeland Security rules prevents anybody from just going into the ports, whether it's the Port of Baltimore, New York, or wherever. You have to have credentials to get into the port property. And so the car is going to a transporter in Baltimore. That transporter has the credentials to get the car into the port property. He also will receive the travel documents for the car as well, which will tell the folks at the port what ship the car is going on, where it needs to be staged, time and date, and so forth. Now, once the car is at the transporter, $150 for him to drive it that mile from his lot onto the port property. But there's no other way to do that. You can't avoid it. It's just simply part of the process. So the car's all loaded up now, strapped down, on our way to the Port of Baltimore, then onto the ship, and then the next stop, Bremerhaven, Germany. So Frank, I hope you enjoy your new car. I hope you adore like I do, and as always, thanks so much, man.